So there are two great stories in the world. The story of the world itself, the planet hurtling through the Milky Way, the great forest rising up from the ground continually. And then the story of the individual human soul, which somehow is equal to that in the sense that the human soul goes as deep as the oceans, and the human soul can comprehend both nature and the great imaginations of culture. But we live in a time now where not just turning of the earth is happening, but the churning is happening on earth. And that is to say, nature is being hit with the big storms and all kinds of climate changes. And there are surges of energy moving through the earth that disturb all kinds of things. And at the same time, there's surges of energy moving through culture, because culture is churning. And when the surges move through culture, they go through the human psyche and the human soul. And just as if you stirred the oceans, in the deep oceans, you would be stirring up creatures that have not even been seen before, huge energies that are down there unseen. And inside human beings, the huge energies that are rarely seen are the angers and the fears and the deep anxieties. And the churning of the earth is churning up all these deep feelings which are surging through people who don't have a choice about it. They come through us. They're not invited necessarily, but they arrive. And so the question becomes, if the earth and the kind of planetary sphere is churning, how do people orient? And especially, how do they orient if what's happening deep in the psyche is the stirring of all kinds of fears and all kinds of concerns that can become delusions or even terrorisms? So what does a person do? And in a sense, I'm standing next to this tremendous tree that rises almost into the sky, that has these great branches branching out, but has these deep roots going into the earth. And the deepest root is called the radical root, the one that goes the furthest down. In other words, a radical is not something that necessarily just stirs things up. A real radical is something that goes deep, deep down. And the deepest radical in the human soul, I'm calling the individual genius. Each person born into this world with a radical quality that goes deep as a tree goes deep into the earth. And when a person feels disoriented or feels troubled or concerned or fearful that it's all going to overwhelm them, the thing to do is to catch on to the deep radical of the soul, which I'm calling the individual genius, which is unique in each person and can provide a pathway through even a disorienting world. And so the events we're doing are called The World Is Churning. Where do you stand when the world needs your genius? How do you bring your genius to bear on all the problems of culture and all the problems of nature? Because each person is genius born, and each person is born with a gift to be given and with the capacity that is now needed by the earth as well as human culture.